Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Power of the Mind podcast. You're listening to episode 218. I am hypnotist Jim Kellner, and I am co-hosting for my good friend, my colleague, Victoria Gallagher. She's the Law of Attraction hypnotist. She's the author of The Practical Law of Attraction, Align Yourself with Manifesting Conditions and Successfully Attract Your Desires. She's also the founder of HipTalk.com and HypnoCloud apps, giving you access to over 500 hypnosis recordings right in the palm of your hand. Be sure to download that app from the app stores. Hello, Victoria.
Hello, Jim. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thanks. How are you?
I am wonderful. I am like really digging today's talk about attracting new clients because I don't know about you, but I've been attracting a lot of new clients lately.
Hmm. I sort of like seem to go through like waves where I attract a lot of new ones. And then for a while I don't attract anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Mine has, like I had maybe a longer wave. Like I had a wave where I was attracting a lot. And then, I probably went because, most of my business is digital, most, downloads and
Yeah.
things like that. And I did that model pretty much on purpose. I started that model back in 1999 with I just wanted to have like a huge catalog reservoir of downloads and things that people could tap into anytime. And I was seeing clients all the while that I was building up that business. But then, pretty much from like that started in 1999, and then like 2005, my husband swept me off my feet and we moved to Virginia. And then from there, we moved to Florida. And I kind of decided I was just going to leave the office behind and just go all digital and not see clients anymore. And at the time, it was just kind of really meant not seeing clients in an office. And I still saw clients way before Zoom, on the phone and
Yeah.
on Skype and people it was that was so funny because people would like, how do you do hypnosis on the phone? Or
Right.
how do you do hypnosis on Skype? Like people just couldn't comprehend that. And it's like, I don't know about you, but I'm not like the touchy feely kind of
Me neither. Yeah.
hypnotist that I don't have to do all those techniques of lifting the arm and,
Right.
touching people's foreheads and
Yeah.
look at my
Me too.
hand and, all of that stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't do all that. And so it is kind of, when people meet me in person and they want me to hypnotize them and they're waiting to do all that flashy street hypnosis stuff. I'm like, that's the part that kind of makes me a little nervous because I don't do it that way. And, you don't, when you don't do something all the time a certain way, it kind of makes you a little uncomfortable to do it. Now you probably, because you're a stage hypnotist, you probably do touch people on stage and do a little bit of that kind of stuff.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because I've had a few times, and I remember this one lady in particular. She was, gosh, in her 70s, I think, and she, which is kind of rare because they're kind of they don't always, people in that age group aren't always tech savvy. But when we got on the phone for the consultation, she said, she wanted to fly up to Phoenix from Texas to see me. And I was like, oh no, I don't. This was before COVID. I said, I don't really take clients in person anymore
Yeah.
because I don't like to. There's no reason to. And she said, well, how are you going to hypnotize me if I'm not there with you? And I was like, well, because it's a talk-based modality. There's, it's not massage therapy. And she goes, okay, but I've watched all your videos on YouTube. And she goes, so how are you going to hypnotize me? And I'm like, I still understand. Well, as we were talking, I was thinking, oh, so most all of my videos on YouTube involve some sort of touch, because it's either, the stage stuff or the street stuff. And I just had to explain to her that, I mean, especially the stage stuff, most of that is just for show.
Yeah.
It's not necessary.
Yeah.
And And as you know, there's many ways to induce hypnosis. And so it's absolutely not necessary to touch people.
Exactly. I mean, I don't touch people when they listen to my recordings.
Right.
And they go, I know I'm sure of it, that they go deep into hypnosis because I get all kinds of great reviews about the changes
Right.
that they've made. So actually being able to see me on Zoom is like so much so much higher level of personalization than my hypnosis sessions.
Right.
So it's to me, when we went through this whole COVID thing, and a lot of hypnotists out there were having to make this transition from
Right.
doing everything in person to now doing everything online. There was a kind of an awkward transition for a lot of people to try to figure out all the tech and all the just different things you learn along the way. One thing that it was funny for me that I learned that I have had to now include forever in my pre-talk and my inductions. It had never happened before, but this one time I was hypnotizing somebody on Zoom, and a lot of times I close my eyes as I'm
Mm.
going through the
Yeah.
induction process.
Sure.
And it just, that's how I tap into, we talked about super
Super
conscious. So I
conscious.
think,
Right.
I think I do connect a little bit with the super conscious, and it just sends all the melodious words out my mouth. And, sometimes, and just as another aside, like sometimes when I'm speaking on stage, I will think of myself, because I'm always afraid I'm going to, forget the words to what I'm going to say in my presentation. So I never forget the words, and I can make up words on the spot when I'm doing
Hmm.
hypnosis, but it's so different when you're doing public speaking. So
It's interesting.
sometimes,
Yeah.
yeah, so sometimes I'll
Hmm.
just pretend, and I'll actually start to get
Oh,
into a rhythm. I'll pretend that this is just a hypnosis session, and
wow.
that's how I'll get into my rhythm of being able to deliver a presentation. But it's almost like I have to almost create a rhythm, because that's what you do when you hypnotize somebody. So anyway, getting back to my story. So I closed my eyes and I see this person. And the next thing you know, I open my eyes and they're gone. And I'm
Mm.
like, where did they go? And so then I had to like make up on the spot. The next part of the script was just to like, and allow yourself just to naturally pull yourself back into a seated position, keeping your eyes closed and relaxing deeper as you sit up. And the more you sit up, the more deeply relaxed you go. And then finally they appear back in a camera
Oh.
again. And I was like, this is where you'll be able to find yourself relaxing even more deeply than you were before. And you'll want to stay in this position throughout the rest of the session. So I had to, from that moment on, remember that, like, what, sometimes people can get so relaxed that they're going to like sit all the way back. And I
Mm.
don't want to talk to the window or whatever it
Hmm.
was that's behind them. I need to see them during the session. So I always make sure to tell them, make sure that your camera is always, however if you want to lay down, adjust your camera so that it's always, I can always see you. And so I always have to tell them that in the little tiny pre-talk, and the little, adjustments that they have to make. Okay, adjust yourself, adjust your camera, make sure that, all of that stuff. Has that ever happened to you on a Zoom call? You like, where the participant just went out of view?
I actually started off by telling them they don't have to be in view. I'll just tell them
Oh, so you're
you can
okay with
put
that?
your, yeah, I'm okay with that because I do it over the phone too.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
so and so, and I know there is a thing like, in hypnosis, we typically want to monitor their breathing and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But like I always just assume they're in hypnosis because I'm a good hypnotist. So
There you go.
um,
There you go.
so
We each
yeah,
have
I
our
don't,
own styles.
yeah, yeah. So I don't concern myself myself too much with that. I've had a lot of weird stuff happen though. Sometimes people just get up and go get a drink of water and come back, and I'm like, we're in the middle of something here, right? Like let's.
Seriously?
It's kind of weird, yeah. So
That is different.
yeah. So I
That is
tell them,
definitely
okay, so we're just going to sit down, and just for the next, 25, 30 minutes, you're just going to sit there or lay down and listen to me and all
yeah,
that good
yeah.
stuff. So,
Well,
so
well,
how do
that's
we use
interesting.
this? How do we use our super manifesting powers, our incredible subconscious and superconscious mind, to manifest more of clients that are going to fall asleep on us?
Right. Yeah. Well, to me, manifesting clients is like one of the most elementary things that we can manifest. I've just always kind of found it's really easy to manifest clients, because like it's not like one of those huge goals. It's not like you're trying to manifest a house or a car or something that's going to take a really long time. This is something that you really can manifest pretty quickly. And and it's obviously, if it's your very, very first client that you're working on manifesting, can be a little bit more of a stretch than when you've already seen clients, because when you've already seen clients, then you know what that feels like.
Hmm.
You know, sort of like what you did to make that happen. And it can be like you can just duplicate that process. You can literally step into what it's like. And especially if you've manifested, if you've seen hundreds of clients, then it's, once you've gotten to that point, then it's much easier, because then I feel like you just start to think about who you like to have as your clients.
Yeah, and that's a really good point. I find that I'm much more selective now, and I don't. There's a lot of clients and there's nothing wrong with them, but I don't really want to work with.
Hmm.
Um, in fact, I would say most of the calls that I get, I end up referring to someone else.
Yep.
I really only want to work with, certain, not necessarily different. I know some hypnotists are very niche oriented. Like, I'm only going to work with weight loss people or stress people, whatever. And I'm not so much that way, but there's something, it's like a vibe really. And it sounds kind of, I was going to say kind of woo woo, but I mean, this is the right place for woo woo, right?
Yeah.
But there's more like a vibe. There's nothing wrong with them or anything, but there's like a vibe. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't, and I can tell within like just a few minutes, I'll be talking to somebody and go, oh, you know what? Excuse me, I'm going to go ahead and give you a number for a colleague of mine. I oftentimes,
Hmm.
Bob Faith, there in Phoenix. I'll say I've got a good colleague in Phoenix, Bob Faith. I think he might be a better fit for you.
Yeah. So what is it about the vibe that and I'm just really curious. So like what do you detect? Like what is the feeling that you get, or is there anything that they are particularly calling you for that like you just pick up on that and you decide this is not going to fit the kind of person that I want to work with?
I'll tell you that the biggest thing for me is if they say anything about, um, and I want to put it in a nice way, but uh, if they're not well educated about hypnosis, I think.
Uh-huh.
And and I understand that people will say, well, it's my job to educate them. I don't want to spend a lot of time doing that, and I don't want to overcome their, is hypnosis going to work, and what is this
Oh
like,
yeah.
and how can I know I'm going to be hypnotized? As soon as that comes up, I'm like, I don't want to deal with this. I've got
Yeah.
a lot of content out there. I've got my TEDx talk. I've got lots of videos on my channel. So if you're coming to me asking, does hypnosis really work?
Hmm.
We're done. I don't
Yeah.
want to. I don't want to spend my time on that. And it may sound terrible. It may sound bad, but I want them to get help. So I always refer them to somebody. I don't just hang
Hmm.
up. But
Hmm.
they're not my person.
Yeah, you know what? I can definitely relate to that. Anytime somebody says, "Hey, I just want to do hypnosis just to see what it feels like," or just I want to prove to myself that it works. I'm not your
Mhm.
hypnotist, because
Right.
that's just not the kind of client that I want to work with, that is still in that doubting whether, I mean, because here's the thing, what you're kind of insulting me. To be
Really,
perfectly
I agree.
honest,
Exactly.
if you're
Yeah.
coming to me and you're saying, I just want to prove that, that hypnosis, like, is hypnosis work? Does hypnosis really work? It's like, you know what? I've been doing this for 23
Right.
years. Do you think I would be
Exactly.
doing this for 23 years if it didn't work? I mean, I think I have a little bit more integrity than
Right.
that. And if you don't think that I am a person that has integrity, then we probably shouldn't work together.
Yeah.
So I want to work with people that are, they just, ultimately, and I kind of do have a niche. Obviously, I'm the law of attraction hypnotist, and so I
Right.
like to help people that are into the whole, wanting to get, well, a couple of things. I am looking for people who, either know about the law of attraction or want to know more about the law of attraction. And I'm looking for people who typically want to help have that work, on their business, because that's something that I've been really good at,
Mhm.
on their, or on the get manifesting a soulmate, because that's something that I, was able to do, or, working on weight loss. And I don't really target at all for weight loss, but I'm really
Mhm.
good at it because
Mhm.
I've had to deal with that my whole life. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to turn away somebody who's, you know, uh, a weight loss client. So those are the three kind of people that I typically like to work with the most, because these are experiences that are near and dear to my heart, things I've struggled
Mhm.
through, things that I've worked on. And so really feel like I have a close I'm dialed in, and I have a really close understanding of how to work with these people, because it's like I've like working with myself. And I feel like, most people, like when you really think about who you really want to work with, you like people like working with, people that are like themselves.
Mhm. I think you're right. Yeah, absolutely.
or, or even people who are, a step up from, somebody that you like to be more like.
Yeah. In fact, that's a great one. In fact, I worked with a client who referred another client, and then that client referred another one, and they're all into real estate and real estate investing,
Mhm.
and you're really successful. Like one of them is like he meditates, he's takes naps, he's doing like all he exercises, does all these things that are self-care, and still, churning out, lots of business, and making a lot of money. But really working with people that are kind of really success oriented is just phenomenal. Just
Mhm.
phenomenal. It's really
Mhm.
awesome.
You know what's funny too? I find that if I'm dealing with something in my own life, in that moment, I'm just, like that seems to be the thing. For whatever. So I'm usually the most consistent, tightly scheduled person,
Mm,
and I get a lot done, and I'm the master of productivity and efficiency.
mhm,
But then I wasn't for a little while,
mm.
and I started getting off track, and I started attracting all these people who all needed help sticking to their schedule. And it's like, I feel like the universe just responds and helps me, because when I hypnotize somebody, I'm going into hypnosis. So I
Absolutely.
can't help but to believe that there is definitely some law of attraction going on, that, when there was a little time a few years back where, I kept attracting people who are having issues in their relationship, and like at that time there was some issues going on in my relationship,
Mm,
and it was like the exact issue that I was going through
mm.
in my relationship, and I was attracting clients. It's like, what is the universe trying to tell me here?
Yeah.
And so it was really, really interesting, because you find yourself working with people. I just find myself really working with people that are just so much like me in that
Mm.
moment in time.
Hmm. Yeah. And it's marvelous. And, I mean, and if you're a hypnotist out there listening and you're just getting started or business is slow, I get it. I mean, I've been there where I've taken on clients that I didn't necessarily want to or didn't think was a good idea to take on. Like if they seem like going to be high maintenance or something.
Hmm.
So I get it. But well, your life just improves so much when you become selective. It really
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, it really does. It really, really does.
Yeah, absolutely. So you said this is pretty easy. Why is it easier than the other stuff? Why is it easier to manifest this than my home up overlooking the ocean?
Well, like I said, I think it's partly it's a smaller manifestation, right? It's
Mm.
something that is very easy for you to establish as something that happens all the time. People are manifesting clients all the time. You can look around you, you
Oh
can
yeah.
see people manifesting this all the time. It doesn't seem like such a stretch because as you've more than likely you've done it before. So you know exactly how it feels, what it looks like, the steps that you went through. You've seen
Oh
other
yeah.
people do it. You can model, you can tap into other people's energy. You can kind of see how they do. And, so, I really feel like it is something that is much, much easier for people. And like I have found, myself, I have this track new clients, track new customers on my HypnoCloud app. And it was just a recording. It was
Hmm.
like before I really started helping people in one-on-one sessions with this process. But this recording, like whenever I listened to it, I would get new orders. I like literally, I
Wow.
go into a 30-minute session with myself and bang, I wake up and I've got like new orders. It's like, oh, how did that happen? And if you look at the reviews on my website, right now I currently don't have reviews that you can see in my app. That'll actually be coming, but on my website, all the reviews from those the sessions, it's like people like listen to this a few times. It's not even like it doesn't even take you
Hmm.
30 days. They listen to it a
Hmm.
few times and they start to get they just start to get it. So it's easier because it's easier. It's easier than manifesting a house. It's easier than manifesting a lot of the big things. It's more specific. It's something that you can physically kind of understand
Mm.
that you can do.
Right.
Whereas like a lot of times, when people are manifesting something very general, like they want to manifest $10,000 or $100,000 or $1 million or something like that. It's just like it's hard to figure out like how are you going to do that. And so I just think it's just an easier manifestation. I mean, most your clients are anywhere from a few $100 to a few thousand if it's a package that you're looking at manifesting. So it's just not an inconceivable thing.
Yeah. I got to tell you too. I must have been hypnotized there for a bit because as soon as you started talking, I was like, oh yeah, she just talked about this. I'm sorry, you did talk about why it's easier. So
It's
thanks for
okay.
thanks for restating it for us. So so we've got the app. We could go listen to the hypnosis. We create our own hypnosis. What other kind of steps could we take to start manifesting these clients or sales? I like the idea of this. In fact, I'm gonna try to listen to that tonight. I want to start manifesting some orders. That's what because there's just nothing like that. When you must get this all the time, but when I wake up and I've got an order, like there's, PayPal just deposited $400 in my account. I'm like, oh, whoa, this is amazing. You know,
Yes. Oh my God. There's nothing, I've been manifesting orders since the first one I got in 1999. And like back then, it used to be kind of like a once a week thing where I would get, an order for like the very first product I ever created was the stress management workshop. And it was like a $59 thing. It was like I was really I just went all out, created a 12 cassette program back in the day. And I was just so happy when I would get that new order. And I'm still just as happy today. You never, ever, ever get over it, even though I get dozens of orders in a day.
Yeah.
And, and it's like, but it's like new order. And it's like, you see that email, it's like new order. And it's not even like the money. It's just that person came to my website and they chose me and they chose this session and they're going to take this and they're going to listen to it. And I have all these people now, that are just like listening to my sessions in their ear. And it's just like heartwarming. And it just makes it like, oh, there's another person. I don't know. I love it. It's like, it just makes me feel good. So anyway, getting back to the question. So the first thing is that, you can hear, like, I have a lot of passion
Yeah.
for helping people. Like, I just really, really want people to get it. Like, I want people to, I want people to be able to improve their life. I want people to have that consistency, that self-discipline, that motivation, that confidence, that new business. I want people to get that result. Like, when I make my session, when I write my session, when and when I'm with that person, I'm just like, oh, let me just give you everything that I have. And I just want to transfer my energy into them. And honestly, like, that's how I honestly feel about it. But I think a lot of people get stuck. I think some people, like, they look at, manifesting new clients or whatever is just a way to get money. And I don't, I don't, there's nothing against making money. I want to make a lot of money. Trust me. I want to make a
Mhm.
lot of money. And I have no problems with thinking about, um, you know, um, about asking for money, because I am worth it. I've worked hard. I have a gift and I have, but just because I have a gift doesn't mean that I don't deserve to be paid for that.
Right.
And I think everyone deserves to be paid for their hard work.
Yeah.
So I'm just stating that up front, that I don't have any, you can tell I don't have any issues with money. What I do have an issue with is when you make the money the goal, and
Right.
so when you make the money the goal, and then you work backward from there and you say, how can I make money? What do I need to do to make money? When you're working from that place, then it's not like you're working from love. You're not working from
Yeah.
passion. And love is the highest level of emotion, is the most powerful force when it comes to manifesting. And it is the highest frequency. If you've ever done any of that, David, last name, Power versus Force, he talks about all
Oh,
the different frequencies.
yeah.
um Somebody knows his name and his book and all of that, but love is the highest level frequency. And so love, when you love what you do, number one, you're just not going to ever burn out. I mean,
Mhm.
and so the very, very, very first step you have to ask yourself is, do I really feel passionate? Do I really love what I do? Is my heart pure when it comes to manifesting clients? Because if you're just trying to manifest money, um, and you think that that's supposed to come through clients, then it's okay to manifest money, but you're telling the universe how to manifest that money, that you're manifesting that through clients. And that just maybe that's not your thing. Maybe there's some other way to manifest money that's not through clients. So, you just have to ask yourself, do you really, really, really love helping people? And if you really, really do, then manifesting more clients is going to come natural. It's just going to be much, much easier. So you want to turn up. The first step is just to turn in and turn up that loving feeling. Because let's be honest, even though you may love what you do, you may not love every part of what you do. You may not
True.
love the marketing part of what you do. You may not love the having to deal with customer support, or the emails or the tech, or certain parts of what you do. And that stuff can get in your way of manifesting that stuff, because if you're focused on, oh, I hate this, then you're thinking about what you hate. So you want to get yourself right back in tune with what it is that you really, really, really love about your job, and do that and focus on that and be that person who is manifesting clients.
That's what I really love about, when we started working together and I read your book and everything. And, because you're not just, hey, let's sit and meditate and manifest $1 million.
Mhm,
You know,
mhm.
there's, and I see that so often in the social media, the memes. I am manifesting $1 million, and every day they're just this thing without any kind of service. It's almost like that I should just get $1 million just because I'm sitting here thinking about it, which doesn't even seem fair, really. Like, um, but should be some kind of exchange. And I'm reminded, I love to, like when you're getting 12 orders in a day, that's 12 people's lives that are being changed. And the
Mhm.
thing that I love about being able to do product sales is because you can touch so many more people.
Yeah.
You can work with, I mean, how many clients you can't work with 12 clients in a day, right? That's
No.
that's almost impossible.
Yeah.
So
No,
yeah,
and for me, I just kind of knew I put so much energy into client work. I honestly, I just, and I'm working on so many different things, and this app takes up a lot of my time. So I do have some space carved out for, maybe up to 4 or 5 clients in a week.
yeah.
And I can't do more than that, honestly. Like um I just wouldn't even want to. And, so that's like I'm capped out at that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm the same way. I don't like to see a whole lot of clients in a week. I've got other things I'm trying to do also. And I would also reminded of, one of my very favorite quotes ever is from, you'll know him, you probably when you hear it, but, I can't remember his name now, but you can have everything that you want in life if you'll just help enough other people get
Zig
what they want.
Ziglar.
Zig Ziglar, right?
Yeah.
So if you're providing a great service for people, you're helping people, then it's going to come back to you.
Yeah, love that saying. And and that's another thing too. When I was just literally, thinking about how my client book is full, it's like I what happens, I think many people try to manifest things from a place of need.
Yeah.
And so when you're coming from a place of need, that's sending a lack vibration out into the universe. And it's not even just the universe, but it's like
Mhm.
people can hear it in your voice. They can pick up on it in your emails. I mean, you're sending that energy out of that. I need this to happen.
Right.
And
Right.
that's why when people like find out about the law of attraction and oh, I can just manifest what I need. No, you don't manifest what you need. You manifest who you are.
Mm.
And you manifest the vibration that you put out there. And so what ends up happening for me is, because I'm so busy, and I don't really have a need per se. It's just sort of like I haven't marketed for clients ever, like ever. I don't market for clients. I market my other things, like my products, and clients just kind of naturally appear. and
Nice.
and they tend to appear the more my calendar is full.
Mm.
So what does that mean? It means that I'm feeling very abundant. I'm feeling like I don't really need this. It's not that I'm going to turn that away. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to find space for that. To a certain degree, but like I don't need it. And I'm already coming from an abundant state of mind. And so I think having that abundant state of mind, however you need to get there, like maybe you're not completely full in your calendar, but there are other ways that you can feel abundant, and you can feel abundant for all the clients that you've ever seen before. You
Hmm.
can like go back and you can think back to a week ago or 2 weeks ago or a month ago or whenever you saw your last client, and you can just allow yourself to give thanks for that person, and just allowing yourself to tap into that energy of when you saw that client, or every sale, the big ones and the small ones. And I used to have like a little bit of a thing about the small orders that I would
Hmm.
get, because occasionally, you get the person who uses they magically find every discount somehow or another. They orchestrate a way to, between the reward points and the discounts that they found and everything. It's like, oh, I just got an order for $1.25.
Yeah.
And like literally, and it's like, but and there was like something, it's like, oh, it's only $1.25. But then you have to like think back, like, well, okay, look at all the work this person went through to
Yeah.
create
Right.
to get my product, number one. Number two, if they're using reward points, that means that they ordered some things in the past. And I have to like actually feel the abundance and feel the great gratitude, even if it was only $1.25 order, because like, look, like they're going to change their life with this product and all the things. And so just really tapping into anything that reminds you of seeing clients or receiving orders, and giving thanks for that and feeling the gratitude and feeling the abundance for that is just, to me, is a wonderful way, to go.
I couldn't agree more. Um, I love seeing the $400, thing coming in through PayPal or
Yeah.
Stripe or something. But hey, when somebody spends, they use the discount code and they get it for $5 or something, hey, that's awesome too. I'm glad you got something good that's going to help you. One of the things that I will say though, on the other side of this, if you're one of those people that's shopping like that, I used to be like that. I used to, boy, I looked for every discount I could find. I'd be Googling every coupon code and all of this, and I'd be carrying coupons around in my wallet, which I never even used. And then I remember one time I went to a lunch. I used to have lunch with a guy who just he was a client and he became a friend, and he was a millionaire next door type, and owned several apartment buildings and everything. And we go to this place. I go, I really want to go to this place today because I've got a coupon for it. And he goes, Jim, he goes, um, what did he say? He goes, you're spending your time um, saving pennies when you could be making dollars.
Mm,
And boy, that was like just a smack in the face. And I was like, you think about that energy, that time you're spending trying to find the best possible deal. What is that? Could I be doing some more work? Could I be doing something else that would actually bring in more money? And so I've sort of broken my habit. A lot of that. I mean, it still creeps in, but if you're one of those people, really take that to heart. Think about that. It's important.
yeah, yeah. Well, that reminds me too of just like certain things that, I mean, to me, investing in your personal development is the most important investment
Mm,
that you
yeah.
can ever make for yourself. And so few people really, they just have it backwards. They
Yeah.
invest in shoes and they invest in makeup and they invest in expensive hair products and they invest in Netflix and they invest in going out to dinner, buying drinks, you name it, and look, I invest in all those things too. I love it. But you got to make space in your bank account to grow yourself as a person, because ultimately everything that you want, it comes from your mind. You got to invest in your mind. You got to constantly be feeding your mind with high level, high quality material. And occasionally, like, I'll get people that want to cancel this, cancel that, cancel their memberships to that are actually quite inexpensive. I mean, you can get into my app for almost the price of a Netflix membership. And and empower your mind and change your life. I mean, if you listen to one of my sessions, one consistently every day on abundance, like here's the thing that's like so maddening, like because
You'll
it's
get
like
that $10
literally
back.
you'll get the $10 if you listen to this session, but much more than that. And you're wanting to tell yourself like, I'm canceling this because I can't afford. First of all, never ever ever say that
Mm,
again. I can't
yeah.
afford, because that is planting such a seed into the subconscious mind. Even if you don't feel like you can afford something, just change that word right now to how can I? Because when you ask the question, how can I afford this? The subconscious mind's going to look for answers and help you to afford it. But my God, people, I mean, a $10 investment in your personal development that's going to help you learn how to manifest not $10, but thousands of dollars. If that's what your issue is, that's so much of what my app helps people to be able to do. So it's like, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. And really, I'm gonna get controversial here for a minute because this has been driving me nuts. But you know, probably gonna get some hate mail. Direct it to me, not Victoria. I see everybody complaining about the price of gas, and I figured it out. I'm probably spending every time I fill up, I'm spending anywhere between about $5 and $10.
Mhm,
And I'm thinking, if that really, and so I fill up maybe twice a week, the most.
mhm, mhm,
If that is really having such an impact on my life that I'm going to complain about it, that's probably one of the low down problems that I'm having. I
mhm,
need to
mhm.
I need to come from a higher level, and again, what can I do to either make more money or um uh I think that just focusing on these kind of things, when we're talking about these, I mean, really what comes down to pennies, like the $10 for the app and that kind of stuff. Boy, is there some better way to spend our energy? Remember, direct the hate mail towards Jim, not Victoria.
Yeah. Well, exactly. It's like, and I had the moment at the gas tank, 75, $85, to fill it up. And, I just took that as an opportunity just to say, wow, I'm grateful that I have a car. I'm grateful that I know how to drive. I'm grateful that I have places to go that require me to put gas in my car.
Sure.
And you can just easily turn that around. And, maybe this is a new economy. Maybe it's temporary. You never know. But, what you focus on expands. So we want to focus on the abundance. And if we need to figure out a way to manifest another $150 a month to get around, then that's what you really want to focus on. To every problem, you want to think about the solution. And so, rather than thinking about the problem of the gas being high, just like you were saying, think about the solution, because there's nothing necessarily you can do about that situation.
Right.
So, what can you do to have a better relationship with that?
Yeah. Such good points. And especially if you're in, like, because I see a lot of people in our field complaining about it. And I'm like, you have unlimited income potential. This should be the last thing on your mind. Really, you have unlimited income potential. So anyway,
Absolutely.
or
Yeah.
if you're an entrepreneur of any kind, but anyway, so we're going to look at the gratitude, the sending that loving energy out there. What else do we got to do to get these customers or sales in, making more money so we can afford the heavy gas bill that we have now?
Well, let's see here. So number one, I think also making room in your life, like it clears the energy, like actually go through and give things away. Like when you're trying to manifest, and I think of, sometimes, manifesting clients is also just another way of manifesting abundance. And, so we want to clear energy in our space, and that also means like clearing your desk. The other day I went through and I cleared up so much hard drive space off of my computer. My
Mm.
hard drive space was actually wearing me down because my computer is running so slow. And I kind of realized, and so think about like when your computer is running slow because it's just, all the space is used up with all the hard drive space. Well, the same thing's kind of true in your energy in your house. And
Oh, wow.
it's just
Wow.
it's everything is moving
Wow.
at a much slower rate of vibration. So if you clear out space, especially in the place that you're going to be doing business, you clear out space for these people to come and have this high light flowing energy, you're going to manifest that, so get rid of old things, get rid of furniture, get rid of things in your environment that, I mean, this is another thing, like this room that I'm in, you can't really actually see the whole thing, but I love just sitting in here. It's so perfect. Like the
Wow.
environment in here is just, it's so cute. Like I've just never had, I've never had
That's
such a
awesome.
nice, yeah, room in here. This chandelier up there. It's so like, it's like just reminds me of luxury when I walk in here. And I've got these, two chairs over there, like they're this like mid-century cute like chairs, and they've got these white fluffy pillows in there. And so it's like just a symbolic thing of like, it just makes me feel abundant, it makes me feel
Mm.
gratitude, it just lifts my energy. But yeah, that hard drive, you got your own hard drive, and every time you walk by something in your house, like that, that scratch on the wall, or the door is, not working just right. We just got rid of our old dishwasher because our dishwasher was like all janky, and for
Oh,
lack of
I was just thinking that word janky, and you said, I can't believe that is such a, we just super conscious right there.
super
Because
conscious. We did. And I wasn't even thinking I was going to say that word. So thank you for saying
that's,
that to me.
that is so weird. Cause I mean, that's a pretty unusual word. And so I just super conscious you.
You did. But now, we got rid of that, and now I feel happy whenever
Mm.
we have to load or wash or unload the dishes from our dishwasher, because this new one's just amazing. So if you have anything in your house that in your space, that, and it doesn't necessarily have to mean a whole dishwasher, it could mean just like that stupid thing that you keep walking by that needs, there's clothes that need to be folded, or anything that's gobbling up your energy, just clear the energy, make room, give yourself some, clear off the hard drive in your mind, get rid of the old thoughts that are no longer serving
Mm.
you, and get rid of old feelings that are no longer serving you, just make room.
A couple of things I love about this is because you were just talking about that hard drive situation a few episodes ago, that your computer was slow and it was frustrating you. You didn't even want to work because it was so frustrating.
And I
And what a
fixed
great,
that. I was so close. I was this close to getting a new computer. And then I
yeah.
thought, let me just sit here and yeah, I cleared up literally half a terabyte of information off of
Nice.
my computer. And it's
Wow.
like zipping around just as like, oh, I almost got rid of you. Thank you.
Well, and I got to tell you that was the message that I needed to hear today, because I'd like to turn my computer and show you, but I'm too embarrassed. So what I do when I'm filming anything is I clear off my desk because it's always full of crap, and I clear off this area behind me that's always full
Mhm.
of crap, and I throw it on the bed. This is my little office space. And I'm looking at it now and it's just a cacophony. And every time I'm like, don't put it back there, just fix it. And I know that is draining me because number one, I'm thinking about it all the time. I'm walking
Mhm.
by it. I've got to step over things. I've got to move stuff every time. That's the message I needed to hear today. So thank you
Yeah.
for that.
Well, you're welcome. You're welcome. Now,
And I'm
and
also
and
reminded,
and
oh,
what are
go ahead.
you going to do about it?
Well, I mean, as soon as we are done, I've got about 20 minutes before my next appointment. I'm going to do as much as I can, and then it's not going back the way it was. It's out, and I've got a bunch of stuff I'm going to take to the thrift store. Yeah, I feel good about it.
Good, good. All
And
right. Well,
you know,
then
remind
we're going to need to wrap up our session here pretty soon, but I know I've got a couple
exactly.
more good examples to give people.
Great. Let's hear them.
The other thing, and I think that this is probably the most magical of all, because it really ties in two principles. It ties in the manifesting and it also ties in the actual marketing. And, we talked about earlier how, we like to work with a certain kind of person. And so I really feel like by really zoning in on who your favorite kind of client or customer is, that gives you a little bit more of a focal point that you can imagine. And, so I actually recommend, and I have people actually draw pictures
Mm,
of their ideal, like, and it might be a man, it might be a woman, what they're, and actually what kind of problems they have, and what their life is like. So it's almost like a similar to a vision board. Sometimes they'll draw a picture. Sometimes I'll have them actually make a collage, and they put the person in the middle. So maybe they'll cut somebody out of a magazine, and they put that person in the middle of it, and then on the left of them, the kind of like all these little words of what their problem was. And then on the right, they'll cut out more words or even images of what their life is going to be like. And it gives you a focal point of something that you can like really imagine, and you can feel good about, like, oh, I'm gonna help this person become this way. Maybe it's a weight loss person that you're, wanting to manifest. So put a bunch of like um bad food, and the scale being like, over the top, or the person like being sad or being, overweight. Like, you can find somebody that's like super, super overweight, and then paste all those pictures over there. And then on the thin side, this person walking on the beach, being in their nice, bikini, or, if you're a female, depending on which side, or if it happens to be a male or a female. Most people do kind of tend to have a preference for whether they deal with a man or a woman. I don't personally. So like for somebody who wants to help somebody manifest things, like maybe on the bad side, the negative side, what the problems are, like, you just see them like really, sad, and you see them like with a beat down car, you see them in a broken down house or whatever, and then on the flip side, you see them with their mansion and yachts and, all that thing. So, but you have that person in the middle who is your person, and it's kind of similar to making an avatar, but you do
mm,
it like, you make your avatar like not only just for marketing purposes, but also just for your brain, because like you should be able to work with who you really want to work with. And the more you're zoned in on that kind of person, I mean, you're going to start to see, your reticular activating system is going to start to notice those people more often, and you're going to offer your services more to those people, or you're just going to start to have a vocabulary that speaks more to that person. And
mm,
I think the more you hone in and dial in on a very particular niche, the wider your audience becomes.
mm. Nice. But that's one of my, it's a difficult one for me. Anything else that we can do?
Well, and again, just visualization, I think, is
Mm,
super, super powerful. So that was kind of a visualization technique there, but I believe that where the magic happens is really by visualizing yourself being in that situation. So visualize all of the steps that go into you having new clients, seeing the website where maybe they sign up for your sessions, and seeing somebody on the other side of that signing up for your session, seeing the email come through that like, oh, you got a new order for an 8 package program, or 16, or however many, you do. And then seeing yourself in that session, seeing the Zoom, seeing yourself hypnotizing them. And, again, just for our own type of business, but this can work for any kind of business, seeing yourself in the action that you would be taking with that person, seeing that person with the smile on their face, and just like, and feeling the way that you feel when that person tells you like, oh my God, this made such a difference. And I'm just so happy. I'm so, and seeing them like just wanting to give to you because you have really helped transform their lives. So I love visualization. It's my favorite thing when it comes to manifesting. I think it's super powerful, and I hope this helped. I hope this helped everyone to attract new clients. And so those are those are my top tips for today.
Thank you so much, Victoria. You want to take us out of here?
I will take us out. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for listening to the Power of Your Mind podcast. If you have any questions, please feel free to send me an email at orders@hiptalk.com. Go to my website, victoriamgallagher.com, and see all the other things. Look up Jim Kellner. He's doing amazing things in stage hypnosis and clients. And so, reach out to Jim if you want to align yourself with becoming Jim's customer client, however you want to do it. Just thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will see you next week. Bye now.